Hey there, this is your host Mark from Blades & More, and welcome to this review of the Kershaw Decibel frame lock folding pocket knife. This Kershaw model is the model 2045, the Decibel, and it came out in 2019, and it's an unusual, smaller model EDC that would work good for a gentleman's carry or a urbanite type carry. It wouldn't be as well suited to heavier duties like hunting, camping, fishing, even though it would suffice to some light use in those settings. But it's a cool looking little piece. It's a straight back type design. And it has what Kershaw calls a titanium carbonitrate coating. That is a light gray finish. It's pretty cool. But this piece did come to me with one major flaw, and that was the nylon bushings in the pivot point, which I'll talk about more, but it was a major flaw for me. The overall length of the knife is 6.75 inches. The blade length is 3 inches with a closed length of 3.75 inches. So that 3-inch blade tucks away tightly into that 3.75 inch handle length. It has dual ambidextrous thumb studs on the blade with heavy jimping on the thumb ram. It is a reverse tanto blade design with a flat grind and a plain edge. No sharpening choil. The blade material is a 8CR13 MOV. Give you a closer look of it here. It has these large pivot screw head washers that are blue anodized, looks very nicely, very unique, with large pivot head screw heads. The stainless steel frame is has a hole both on the front side and the back side. And it is a frame lock that has heavy jimping on the frame lock piece that is easily accessed. Locks up nicely. It is a tip-up carry design with the placement of the stainless steel carrying clip to be put on the back side or the front side, so right hand or left hand carry. It also has a blue anodized spacer in the handle. Looks very nice, matches the pivot head washers, the blue anodized. So it looks really cool. That's what attracted me to this piece, was a nice looking little urbanite EDC. Comes in at 2.7 ounce weight. It's nice and light. The height of the blade is only 0.75 inches, and the width is very thin at 0.10 inches. Has this kind of short, stubby, flat carrying clip. Looks pretty cool, sits fairly deep in the pocket. But here was my major flaw. When I first received it, the blade centering, the blade was all the way to the left. It was hitting the frame. And I tried to tighten it up, and it wouldn't come at all. It just stayed right up tight against the left side of the handle. And so I tore the knife apart, and I found that it had two nylon bushings, 20 thousandths thick nylon bushings, that both were a little bit deformed from my tightening or trying to get the blade to come in the center. And so I replace them. I have a variety of washers, and I replace them with 20 thousandths thick bronze washers that solved the issue of the centering fairly good. It's almost perfectly centered now. It's a little bit to the left. I had to have it because it still opens a little hard. It's not that the detent is that heavy, and it did the same with the nylon washers and with the brass washers. I think it's got to do with the placement of the thumb studs. It's just it's too close to the back side of the blade, and it just makes it a little difficult. It's not a real smooth opening. So it's got a couple of design flaws in that the placement of the thumb studs, and the big one is those nylon washers, bushing washers. And I don't know why Kershaw would do that. This knife retails for $65.99, and they put a couple of cheap piece of junk nylon washers in the thing that just unbelievable. Blade HQ sells this piece for right now, 2019, for $36.95, and it comes with junk nylon washers that, Kershaw is made by Kaya, K-A-I USA Ltd. And they also own another knife company and ZT Knives. Maybe in order to get decent pivot head bearings or washers, or that you have to spend hundreds of dollars for their ZT knife or their more expensive Kershaw knives, and they want to have it as a marketing ploy to put pieces of junk in their $69 retail knives. I'm not sure, but it's a real complaint for me. This is a Chinese-made knife, but I purchase a wide variety of Chinese knives that have very nice ball bearing or brass or bronze or even nylon washers that give nice centering with nice action, and this thing was just awful. Now, maybe I got a one-off and it was just bad, and I probably should have returned it, but I had the ability, being that I have some washers, in order to do that, because I've had that problem with other knives. But so for that reason, I would not recommend it, and I wouldn't recommend it also because of the placement of the thumb studs. It just makes it for a difficult opening. It's not right. But so for that reason, I wouldn't recommend it. But overall, when I read the reviews on the knife, people were giving it fairly nice reviews and saying it was a sharp little knife, and they were surprised by some of its qualities. But if it didn't have those two deficiencies, I would kind of like it, but wouldn't recommend it at all the way it is. So there we go, everybody. That's my review of the Kershaw Decibel model 2045. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. All right, bye now.